Aside from his fedora, the Bullwhip is probably one of the most memorable pieces that makes up the iconography of Indiana Jones. This tool has been Indy's silent partner. This is my replica of that silent partner. This video was actually inspired by my good buddy Kirk Brackmann, who made a video on his Joe Strain not too long ago. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. And I'm even wearing my Temple of Doom jacket in honor of him. But this video is going to be a fun parallel because this is my Joseph Strain. I bought this from my good buddy Trent Ryan in 2021, if I remember correctly. I'll put the correct date maybe somewhere here, or not at all, I don't know. But this was my first real Indy Bullwhip. And when I got it, I knew nothing about whip makers or what went into a proper Indy Bullwhip. All I knew was that this was my first real Indy whip, and I was so excited to get my hands on it. But in that time, it's gone on as many adventures as I have, and I've learned a lot about this thing. And I'm going to go over it with you today because it just feels right, especially with the Dial of Destiny trailer that dropped at the Super Bowl this weekend. So this is my Joseph Strain 8-foot kangaroo hide Indiana Jones / American style bullwhip in a beautiful, beautiful brandy color. I learned that this whip was made sometime in 1995, and that meant a lot to me when I learned that this was made in 1995 because I was born in 95, so this whip and I are same age. The fact that it was made at that time and is in my possession kind of feels a little bit like destiny. Eh? It's funny, you know, when I first got this, Trent and I were talking about how it's a very dark bullwhip, you know, it being in the brandy color. It's not really accurate to Raiders, Temple, Crusade. I could pass this off as like a Crystal Skull whip because of how dark it is. There are many points in Crystal Skull where the Terry Jacka whip that Harrison has on his belt kind of takes on this color. But then the Dial of Destiny trailer dropped December 1st of last year, and the whip was in a brandy color, and I lost my gourd. And so did Trent. We have joked a lot about how he regrets selling this to me because this is now a pretty dang accurate Indy 5 bullwhip. So much so that Trent told me an interesting factoid that my whip and one of the on-screen whips shares in common. And I think I'll let him explain.
So heavy speculation amongst Indy fans and cosplayers are fully convinced that the bullwhips in Dial of Destiny are modern-day David Morgan styles. This is because of the 3-pass on the heel, and overall just looks like a whip that they would produce as we speak. However, the whip hiding behind Indy's fedora in the initial trailer kind of raises some eyebrows because of the not so David Morgan details. Mostly in the heel knot, what we can perceive to be a 2-pass rather than the traditional 3, a thinner wrist loop, and the most obvious detail is the 8-point hitch. Now, it's not as thick as a Terry Jacka, which is something he produced for Crystal Skull, although it has a lot of people thinking that maybe there could be affiliation from Joe Strain, Paul Nolan. Maybe either of them was trying to emulate something that the production crew was after. It's really hard to say. But the ultimate question lies in what bullwhip was on that table.
Yeah, so learning that my whip has a lot of similarities to the Dial of Destiny trailer whip makes me love this thing even more. And I didn't think that was possible because I loved this whip a lot already. One of the things that impresses me most about this is when I got it, I wasn't accommodated, or I should say, yeah, I wasn't accommodated. I didn't know how to crack a whip like this, like an actual proper bullwhip. The only experience I had was with wood style and those kind of cheaply made whips that have plastic bags in the core. Not something like this, which is stout and proper, and what Indy would actually carry on his hip. This has been a godsend, and I really do thank Trent for selling this to me, because every time I'm at an event, somebody wants to crack this, because this is a wonderful whip. It's lightweight, it's very fast, it's just like a Spitfire, it just snap, snap, snap. It's well weighted. That's another thing that I really love about this whip. I will say, if you haven't seen my original video about this, Trent did do a little bit of modification before he sent it out to me. He actually replaced the fall, because the original fall on the whip was just kind of in tatters. It was nasty looking. And this is the replacement he gave me, which I got really excited about because it was white. It was a white fall, much like the Raiders fall. But in my many outings with this, it's not white anymore. It's a very nice tan, because this takes a lot of abuse. I also recently put a new cracker on the end of the fall because the old one just exploded. Like, I don't know what happened. I cracked it and the thing fell apart. Just, yeah. I just love this whip, and it's very smooth, and it's just a wonderful example of Joe's work, because if you compare this to one of his newer whips, you see how he's gotten better, and that is even more a testament to his expert skill, because this is really damn good to begin with. A lot of people were amazed when we learned that this was very early in his career, because there's so many things that are just like, yeah, it's hard to think that he went from making something as nice as this to the whips that he makes now, which are just... And he's semi-retired too, but as far as I know, if you ask very nicely, he'll make you a whip, because he's just that wonderful. Yeah. So this is my update video on how I feel about this whip, how it's treated me, how much I love it, and just what a joy it is to own this. You know, learning that it's as old as I am, that it's been on so many adventures, that it's this beautiful brandy color, and that now it matches pretty closely to the Dial of Destiny trailer whip. Just feels like destiny. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody. Can't do it like you, Trent. Wonderful piece, and really shows just how good trash trucks are at ruining my shot. Oh buddy, you're gonna want to get those brakes checked. Good lord.